Hey everybody, welcome to episode 58 of the Joys of Games podcast. This is our wonderful week of Xbox. I am one of your hosts, Josh Brown. I am joined by the man who's so excited to talk Xbox this week, Colin Wheeler. Hi, Colin.
Hey, how are you?
Fantastic. Pumped up, hyped up for this episode.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All joking aside, this is going to be a short episode, folks. Xbox is making it difficult for us to continue to talk about Xbox in the rotation that we have it. It really is.
It's a very, it's right before E3. It's a very slow time, but on top of it being a slow time in E3, there hasn't been a lot of software coming out that's like Xbox specific either.
Right.
I mean, we were talking that Halo Wars came out in, I think it was February, and it just kind of dropped and kind of like went into the ether after that.
It existed.
As much as I like the game, I bought the game day one, loved it,
Yeah.
but it's just like, I don't have any feeling to go back and replay that,
I don't feel like anybody talked about it after it released.
Yeah, it's very like, it's almost like a niche game, which is interesting because Halo is literally the biggest IP that Microsoft owns.
Sure.
But it just didn't do wonders. So,
Yeah.
they've been making some really good updates on features and the hardware and the OS and stuff like that. But when it comes to actual software, actual games, there just hasn't been much. And I'm hoping E3 is going to change that.
Yeah. When we do our next Etc. episode, we'll have our E3 predictions as promised last week. And I got some things to say about Xbox because E3 is going to be gigantic for Microsoft. It has to be. They have a new system coming out. They have the very difficult task of convincing people that, they're back and they're ready to bring back that core group of gamers that they lost the last few years. So they have a lot of work to do at E3. And first and foremost, they need to say what's going on with Cuphead. Because it feels like an eternity that game was promised. And it's not like it was shown off and then it disappeared and we haven't seen it in 15 years. We keep seeing it, but it doesn't ever come out. And, that's frustrating.
Yeah, it's Cuphead, Tacoma, and Below. Those three games, I feel like, were announced when the system, or very close to the system being released, and we've yet to see any of those games.
Right.
So, fingers crossed that all three of them are this year, because that would be amazing.
Just something. Just make us excited to turn our Xbox on again.
I will say I've been very tempted lately to buy Forza Horizon 3 because of that Hot Wheels update.
Oh, right.
That thing looks so cool. And everybody keeps saying how amazing it is. Like, people that are like primarily like PlayStation people are even saying how great it is.
I wish they would just release that as like a standalone thing.
Yeah, I would totally buy that for like $15-20, no problem.
I don't want to have to buy Forza just to play that. I would totally buy that just on its own. Hot Wheels is awesome, man.
I feel like I think it was Forza 6, they had that Fast and Furious thing, and that was, I thought that was something you could buy separately.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't do that again, but...
Or was it free? It was a free download, right?
Was it free?
I think so, yeah. Because it was the marketing thing and blah, blah, blah. Everybody's like, you know what? That wasn't too bad for being a free thing.
Yeah, I would definitely buy that. So if they just stand alone, but I don't know. I've got so many other games though. Every single time, I'm like, oh man, maybe I should buy that. And I'm like,
It'll be fun for like a couple races, and then you're just like, I just want to play Mario Kart again.
Yeah, basically. There's been some weird rumblings happening. Like I said before, we're getting close to E3. One surprise that happened today was Square Enix dropping IO Interactive.
Yeah, that was super weird. And they're the ones that made Hitman, right?
Yeah, Hitman. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which, from my understanding, like out of the gate, Hitman didn't do well, but since the positive buzz like kept happening, the sales of that just increased and increased, and actually did really well to the point where they greenlit multiple seasons of
Yeah.
that game.
Well, when it was first released, it was released in installments, and people were like, I don't know about how Hitman's going to be, an episode by episode type of game like the Telltale game. So I think everybody was wary about how it was going to work out in the end. And by the time that they had released all the content, everybody's like, yeah, this is a solid game now. So I think it was just like kind of reconditioning gamers to be able to break up what they would consider a normal game into episodic almost.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, by the end of it, it was selling super well, and everybody, I mean, it was on people's Game of the Year list last year.
Yeah, I mean, Giant Bomb gave it the Game of the Year, so yeah, it's kind of it's interesting because you look at it and it just seems profitable. So why would they get rid of that? And it's not like I mean, I guess I don't know for sure, but I don't feel like Square Enix is suffering because Final Fantasy did really well, Tomb Raider did really well, Hitman presumably did well. I mean, they sold tons of copies of that, and even if they didn't sell the $60 box title, people bought the different parts that they wanted separately, so they're making money there too.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's such a strange thing to me.
So what happens to that game now?
Yeah, that's the thing is I guess from my understanding they're auctioning off, or like they're looking at offers to acquire the studio.
Okay.
I mean, well, some people have been floating around that Microsoft should buy them just because they need more, first party developers, but
Sure.
I who knows what happens.
Yeah. Man.
Super talented studio, so they've been around forever.
Super weird. Just
Yep.
very strange for Square Enix to go that route, but
Yep.
what are you gonna do? One rumor that I've kind of been digging on is the leak, I guess, the new Assassin's Creed game.
Oh yeah, what is it, Origin?
Origin, yeah.
Yeah.
Egypt, man.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, and I also like that they are going back to the LTR outfit.
Mm-hmm.
I've always thought that outfit was the coolest out of all of them. So, seeing that come back, and I hope them taking a year off really did help them innovate that series. I hope it's not just more of the same but refined.
Right.
Just because I've been playing Horizon Zero Dawn, and that's very much of Assassin's Creed, except with minus the parkour, but the same kind of sort of mechanics, but
Yeah.
a really, really good version of that.
Right.
So I just don't want to see another game like that without some kind of innovation.
Yeah.
And what was weird too is the rumors that were going around it was that they're going to have ship battles
Mm-hmm.
again.
Right.
Which I'm interested to see where that's going to tie into the narrative.
Sure. What I find funny is I've heard people complain about Egypt not having tall buildings. So what are you going to use for your points of towers to climb up and unlock the map? And it's well, maybe they're not going to have that. Maybe they're going to go away from that, because that was the one thing that people always made fun of Ubisoft games for, was having that system in place in every single one of the games. So maybe let's applaud them if they do go differently, instead of saying, well, how's that going to work in Egypt? I don't understand the negativity about possibly changing up the formula that everybody's already making fun of anyway.
Yeah, whatever. It's just it's so dumb. People just immediately just go to the negative, and it's just why don't you actually see what the game is, and then you can make a critical response to
Right.
it. This is all just we technically don't even know if it's actually Egypt. It probably is,
Sure.
but it's not a for sure thing.
Right. We have one screenshot. One screenshot.
I still want them to do Feudal Japan because I love the Tenchu games on the original PlayStation.
Yeah.
So I would love to basically be a ninja. So
Yeah. Big time.
that would be rad.
We'll see. Assassin's Creed is, like you said, I hope that a year off will do the series well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm worried that it's going to be more of the same. Like, even though it was a year off, like, I still, in my heart of heart, feels like it's going to be just another Assassin's Creed game. No matter how good it is, it'll still be just that same formula rehashed.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I'll give them the benefit of doubt.
And that's also my concern with Call of Duty. What is your take on Call of Duty World War II?
Whatever.
Yeah, that's how you feel. Just whatever.
Whatever.
It's weird to me because like the prospect of the World War II Call of Duty got me hyped when it was like rumors and then like leaks started coming out. I was like, oh, super excited. And then I saw the premiere trailer and I was just like, yeah, it's more Call of Duty.
Yep. That's exactly what it should be. And
I thought for sure that I would be way more excited about it, but it just didn't do anything. I was just like, it's exactly how I felt when Infinite Warfare was announced.
yeah,
And they showed like the spaceship stuff and everything. I was just like, which, you know, I should have been hyped for because I'm a huge sci-fi buff, and like Call of Duty shooting is still the best shooting in, I think, any shooter, you know.
Mhm.
But I'm so just exhausted from the tropes of those games
right.
that like I don't feel like a setting is gonna really change that, unfortunately.
Probably not. Yeah.
So we'll see. So I'm very excited. Very, very excited. So a week from now,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to see the official Destiny 2 reveal.
Oh, that's right. That's coming up.
Because you're such a big Destiny fan, I want to hear a prediction from you.
It's gonna be Destiny 2. They're not gonna have the light system anymore because it's a world without light,
Mm-hmm.
or galaxy without, or universe without light. I think it's gonna be a lot of more Destiny.
You think so?
I think, yeah. I think the shooting mechanics are still going to be really well done and probably the best in the industry. I think there's going to be a bigger, more substantial hub world. I think we're going to have ship combat.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Instead of just using them to use as a loading screen in between planets.
A screensaver.
Yeah.
A very long screensaver.
Yeah, I think we're going to get ship combat.
Oh, that'd be so rad.
Capacity. And it's going to be more Destiny, man. I think they're going to have raids and stuff out the gates. I think they'll probably have more of them, more accessible to people just jumping in. Like, they have a lot of things that they can and should correct from the first game.
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to do it all? Who knows? Do I want them to? Yes. I want to see them take all the feedback that they've been holding on to the last couple of years and say, here, you know what? This is the Destiny we really want you guys to play. I feel like Destiny 1 was just like a giant beta, like a 3-year beta for this game.
Yeah, they definitely. So a lot of the issues that you and a lot of players had with the first one, they've actually rectified, but it took them literally 3 years to figure all that stuff out. So like Destiny 1 is now feels like if Destiny 1 launched with all the content that it had 3 years later, with all the fixes and everything and the balance issues, like that game would have been like, you know, reviewed really well, would have been like 9 out of 10. A lot more people would still have been playing that game.
Yeah.
But like you said, it was basically like a very prolonged beta, and Destiny 2 is going to be kind of what Fable 2 was to Fable.
Right. Like, they know what they need to do now, and they're going to execute. I hope. I really do. There's a lot of things in Destiny that I could appreciate. There's a lot of things in Destiny that I felt was confusing and not really fleshed out very well. It was just kind of there. And it was intimidating to people kind of jumping in. But like as a social shooter, first person shooter, not first person, third person, right?
First person.
Was it first person?
Yeah.
Yeah, it totally was first person.
Halo guys, man.
Yeah. Like they had a lot to offer. It just, it was boring out of the gate, and it lost a lot of people that didn't have the patience or the willpower to keep pushing on until changes were made.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, but I'm willing to give it another chance. Like the fact that they're doing like this whole presentation and like before E3, like showing it off, like it makes me feel like they are super proud of this game and they're super excited. But then again, maybe it's just them being forced to make a big deal out of it, kind of like the first go round. When who they have, didn't they have like Paul McCarthy do like the song for like a presentation or something?
Yeah, so that thing is the weirdest, one of the weirdest, like, quote unquote professional videos I've ever seen, because it legit reminded me of like a Tim and Eric sketch, or just something that's like purposely done terrible.
Yeah.
But like it wasn't. It was this weird collaboration that Marty O'Donnell, the composer of Destiny, collaborated with Paul McCartney. He's like singing, and there's like Destiny like graphics behind him, and it just, none of it makes sense. It is just, I feel so uncomfortable watching the entire thing. I'm just like, what is happening?
And then from there, so people were like, okay, still. But there's so much marketing behind it that like there's so much hype and buzz and excitement. And, they announced the beta, which people lost their minds for. Like there were people so excited to play the beta of that game.
Dude,
and then,
I bit the bullet on buying a PS4 to play the beta.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not gonna lie.
It was so important at the time. And then in the beta was, what was the line? The Wizard on the Moon line?
Yeah.
Like, from, I can't remember his name now.
Dinklage.
Yeah, Peter Dinklage as Ghost.
There's a wizard on the moon.
There's a wizard on the moon. And
or
like,
that wizard came from the moon, something like that.
That was in the beta. And people were like, oh no. Oh no. This might not be what we hoped it was going to be. But
well, everybody lost their mind with the beta because they thought that this was going to be just a small glimpse of what everything else is. And then it ended up just being that but like on a couple more planets. Like it ended up basically being like Assassin's Creed 1, where you go through that first city and you're like, oh, this is amazing, this is so cool, I'm killing all these enemies and I kill this big boss, and then you have to do it 2 more times. That's right. Like the exact same thing that you're doing 2 more times. And this one was like 3 more times, and they were dodgy about asking, like people were like, is this an MMO? And they're like dodgy about answering what it actually was.
Yeah.
But they definitely like overhyped it. They're like, you're going to be able to go through the whole solar system. You're going to be able to do this and that. And like, you could only go to like 3 planets and a moon. Like,
right.
That's just not. It's too. It was way too ambitious, and like the marketing did not help that game either.
Yeah, and then post release, like you said, they were so dodgy about answering anything and telling people what to expect and admitting like, yeah, this is totally what we had planned. And it's like, well, are you sure this is what you had planned? Because it seems like you have a whole. And then like the first raid came out, and then people were like, oh, okay, this is what this game could be. But by then, there was either the people that just bounced right off of it because they were done, or the people that were super excited and were willing to, stick with it at that point. But it was just all over the place, man. So I want Destiny 2 to be like the culmination of this weird long journey that they've been on, to just finally say, here it is. This is Destiny, and then go from there with it and be better than what they were the last few years with that game.
Yeah.
I think they owe it to the fans out there that supported them for this long. Like, they can't screw them over again.
I also don't think that they like purposely meant to do that. I think they just... it was just way too ambitious.
I'm not saying it was intentional, but on the other hand, them being super dodgy and cagey about things was very intentional.
Yeah.
They got in over their heads. There was a giant push to get it out there and get it done. And like if they sat on that game another year, like it would have launched in far better condition than when it did.
Mm-hmm.
But they had to get out. They had to. So there's like the hardcore dedicated fan base that is still waiting for that experience that I really, for their sake, want this to be what they've been waiting for.
I remember the announcement of the PS4, and people were so hyped for 2 games, and one of them was Watch Dogs.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I remember people were losing their freaking mind about Watch Dogs, and I told everyone, like, hold your breath, man. Ubisoft always does this. Every single time they reveal new Rainbow Six, it's like, holy crap, how does it look this good? And then you get it, and you're like, why does that character look like he has a mushroom on his face?
Watch Dogs.
That one, and then Destiny also was like... Destiny, to me, wasn't as big of a disappointment to people as Watch Dogs was. Like,
Right.
For some reason, people put Watch Dogs on this, like, crazy pedestal. I don't even understand why.
Yeah. Hacking, man. Hacking.
Yeah. Never been done in a game before, so, you know.
I don't know. It's just weird. But, yeah, I mean, it's cool that they're doing their own big reveal before E3, which
Yes.
means I hope at E3 we'll see a lot more of it, and people will get hands-on time with it, and...
Yeah, and you get they get their full hour versus if they did a reveal at, like, the PlayStation conference, they'd get maybe 10 minutes. So this gives them a lot of space to really explain everything and why it's worth
Sure.
Either coming back to or coming to for the first time. So,
Yeah. And honestly, like, it'll be interesting to see what they could offer as far as the Scorpio is concerned. So yeah, I mean, I know Destiny is in bed with Sony, you know, but I'm still curious what they will have to offer with the Scorpio and the PS4 Pro. What's it called? Yeah.
yeah, PS4 Pro. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they're both going to run better on the systems, but like I don't know if you can increase like the frames per second, if that's going to affect the players that have the standard PS4 or the standard Xbox One. That's going to be an interesting battle that they're going to have to face.
Yeah. Yeah, Scorpio has a lot of questions to answer at E3.
Yeah. For sure.
How they run with the standard games that anybody else could play on their normal Xbox Ones, like our day one Xbox Ones. Like, how is that going to compare to the Scorpio? And I kind of wish Scorpio was just a new system altogether.
Yeah, like an Xbox 2 or whatever.
Sure, yeah, something like
Makes
that.
it less confusing for sure.
So we'll see. E3 has a lot to offer us. It has Microsoft has a big fan base to get back in good graces with and convince that they are dedicated to bringing the gaming experiences that they've been promising for years to fruition. So I'm just saying, this drought of theirs, you know, like there was a time when people were saying Sony had no first party exclusives and Microsoft was just loaded to the gills with all these exclusives, and you know, like they were dominant. And it's this weird thing where even the exclusives that Microsoft is putting out just isn't getting the buzz and excitement. Halo Wars 2, Gears of War 4, it's just not doing it for people the way we wanted it to. So they need to start pushing out Cuphead, Tacoma, Below, those big games that, you know, are smaller indie titles essentially, but it's going to be those experiences that will get people excited. Like that's what we're seeing on PlayStation, you know.
Yeah. They're unique because like
Yeah.
all of Microsoft's well, not all of them, but most of them this generation have all been very safe.
Mm-hmm.
Versus, you know, it still bums me out that a game like Sunset Overdrive that is so good just sold so bad, because that is still my favorite Xbox One exclusive. I'll say it 1,000 times.
Sure.
That game deserves so much more than what it got.
Right. Well, I mean, like, just look at, like, What Remains of Edith Finch. It's a PlayStation 4 exclusive. It's like a 2.5, 3-hour game. There's not much to it, but it tells a wonderful story, and it's beautiful. But it's just, like, this little title, and it came out in a week when, you know, there wasn't any other big releases, and everybody turned on their PlayStations, and they're like, okay, let's go play this little game. And it's those little experiences that aren't coming to Microsoft that should be to get people to say, hey, I need to dust off my Xbox and play this little title again and get excited for this game and talk about it and generate that buzz.
Yep.
So, speaking of little titles, Colin, I want to talk about one game.
Okay.
That I've been playing. Now, I have not, I'm going to super honest caveat here, I have not played it on my Xbox One. However, it is available for the Xbox One. So I'm going to count it as a game I could talk about this week. Because honestly, it's been since Yooka-Laylee was released that I've turned on my Xbox. I don't know when's the last time you turned on your Xbox, Colin.
I mean, my kid plays Trove and Roblox and Minecraft.
There we go.
And Overwatch, like, on rotation almost every single day. So it's getting some use, just not from me.
Gotcha. You picking up that Minecraft on the Switch?
I don't know, because I have it.
Everyone has it, Colin. Everybody has it somewhere.
And, like, I'm thinking about it. My thing is like, I don't feel like I would play it very much on my Switch.
Yeah.
I'm still super addicted to Puyo Puyo Tetris. Like, I cannot, like, break away from that, except for maybe a few matches of Mario Kart, so.
Yeah, I hate Minecraft. Like, I know it's a great, fun experience, and I completely understand why it's super important and why it's, like, one of the best-selling games of all time. Like, I get it. I just hate it. Like, I just do not like it. I don't, there's nothing fun about it for me.
Oh, man, I think, maybe I do need to get it on Switch so you and I can play together. Because it's not that fun by yourself, but I think it's really fun when you have a lot of people. Because you can do, like, a common goal. You can be like, hey, let's go build this village. I'll get the supplies for this. I'll get the supplies for this. And then,
Are we talking about Minecraft or Destiny?
Both. Same thing. They look exactly the same and play the exact same way. So
weird.
But yeah,
I want to like Minecraft, and I've given it a shot. I've played it on several different platforms now. It's just, I hit that wall where it's like I could only create so much before it's just okay. I need to move on here.
Do you play on survival or do you play on the creative mode?
I've done both.
Survival is so much more fun. I think the creative, I get bored super quickly because I'm just like, I have everything. Like, there's no goal for me except for if I want to build a building. Versus survival, it's like, I'm trying to get materials. I'm trying to build weapons for when enemies come. I'm trying to get food so I don't die. Like, there's a lot of more interesting things. And also, like, when you explore and, like, dig in caves and stuff and you find, like, diamonds, it's just so exciting. Versus when you're in creative mode, I have 10 million diamonds already. I don't care to go search for any diamonds.
Sure, I get that. I don't know. Like I said, I get it. I just, as many times as I've tried it, I just can't get into it. I wish I could, because, like, I want to get it on the Switch because, like, that's probably, like, the ideal platform for it to be on. With the touchscreen and everything, like, it would be super awesome. It's just, I know I'm going to get it. I know what I'm going to do. I'll start day one. I'll build my little rinky-dink shack just to stay alive in the first night. And then come the second day, I'll run around, I'll punch some things, and then just bounce off. I'll just be done.
But it's got Mario.
I know, Colin. And that's a stupid reason to buy a game.
It's got Luigi.
It does have Luigi.
It's got Toad.
Is this still the year of Luigi?
It's got Peach. It's always the year of Luigi.
In our hearts.
Or Luigi.
Oh, Luigi.
Always getting the shaft.
Never stop being Luigi. Colin, I want to talk about one game. It's
Okay.
called Little Nightmares.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that one.
What a weird, twisted little game, man.
Mm-hmm.
I had not heard about this game until it came out. and I heard a few different people talking about it that were playing it, and I was like, "What is this Little Nightmares thing? Like this, it feels like a game I should have known about, and it totally wasn't." And so I watched a video of just like what kind of gameplay it is, and I was like, "Oh, okay." It kind of looks and feels like Inside or what's that other game? Limbo. Except a little bit more depth. Like you're not on just a straight 2D plane. Like you could go back and forth. Uh, more freely than Little Big Planet.
Okay.
But still like that 2.5D perspective, essentially. You're still going left to right, but you could just go back into the world a little bit more. Anyway, you're like this little kid with a yellow raincoat on, and you just kind of start the game in this really creepy environment. And from what I've gathered, I'm pretty sure it's like a giant ship, but I could be completely wrong. I think the intent of the game is to, because it doesn't have any dialogue, it doesn't tell you anything. I think you're supposed to be playing out actual nightmares of like a child, and how children can perceive kind of normal things or even creepy things to be like even more creepy and scary, like completely exaggerated.
Is it like so? Is it that's the one that kind of looks sort of like Tim Burton-esque visuals? Does that sound right?
Sorta, yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah. It's everything's a little bit off.
Okay.
It's dark and moody and atmospheric, and there's
Just
no,
like my soul.
yeah, pretty much. There's no combat. You just run around. You could jump. You have a little Zippo lighter that you could use in dark spaces, or you could use to light lanterns along the way. You're always crawling in and out of holes and little crevices. You could, like I said, you could jump and you could hold on to stuff and you could pull yourself up onto ledges. You could pick up objects and carry them, or like toss them off of like a shelf or something. The main goal is just to keep going right, just to get to the next part of the game.
So you like you said, it's literally like Inside or Limbo.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
A little bit more stealth involved, because each like section has like somebody that is super freaky and frightening looking. Like one of the guys is normal proportions, except for like his arms are super long arms, like incredibly long, like 10 times the length of his body.
Dulcim.
Yeah, pretty much, more so than that. But like, it's in a way that's like you could tell that it's super exaggerated in like this kid's mind. For some reason, like he saw this person who has long arms, but like in his head, like they're really long and they could reach all these different angles, and you have to eventually like get past him, and you're working your way through the level essentially trying to get past him by going underneath him and floorboards, by dropping something off of a shelf over on one side and then running around and dropping down and trying to stay out of his reach on the other side of the room. The whole thing is just keep going right. Just keep getting past everything. Like I said, no combat. It's just getting past everything, whether it be sneaky, whether it be trying to be fast, whether it be trying to outsmart them. But it's really fun. Like if you like Limbo or Inside, like it feels a lot like that in so many different ways.
Huh. A very important question for you.
Yeah.
Was the audio recorded inside a human skull?
Possibly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah. Like just being able to like walk around a room, even if there's like nothing to do in the room, you just have a little bit more freedom with your character, which feels nice. And then I don't want to spoil too much, but occasionally your character will get hungry to where they're doubling over in pain from being hungry.
Oh.
And it's the points of the levels that it happens, I think, is predetermined already. Because it always leads into you having to find food of some sort, which is sometimes quite disturbing, because when you gotta eat, you know?
Right.
And sometimes you can't be too picky with things. But yeah, like there's some unexpected things that kind of just pop up, and you're just like, wow, that's didn't see that coming. Also, like Limbo and Inside, and it's not even from the Playdead guys. Like I can't remember who made this game, but you could definitely tell like there was inspiration behind those games with this one. But you die a lot. Like you will die a lot, falling off ledges, getting caught by whoever you're trying to not get caught by. Whatever the case is, you will die. It's very generous autosave points, though. So you don't ever have to go too far back to get back to the point where you died. So that's nice. Also, throughout the game, and I haven't quite figured this out yet because I haven't quite finished it, but so you're the small kid, right? Like about the size of a lamp. Okay. So you're pretty small, relatively speaking, to the rest of the world around you. These confined spaces.
Okay, so you're basically, you said you're like the size of a lamp, like a
lantern.
Oh, okay. So that's really small then.
Yeah, like probably like a foot and a half, you know?
Okay.
But throughout the game, there's these little things that you come across that they look like they have newspapers folded up into triangles, and they're wearing them like hats, like little gnome people, because they have little legs that scamper around. But like you'll walk past something and then like you'll accidentally frighten them out of their hiding spot, and they'll skitter away throughout the level. I don't know what they do. I don't know what the purpose of them is. Like, you can't catch them. You can't interact with them at all. But when you come to them, they just, like, skitter out from their hiding spot and then run to a different spot in the room. Freaky. Every time.
It's probably like that little bunny rabbit in Mario 64. You just gotta chase him.
Because there's no...
dive for him.
No, because they're just so quick, and then they scamper off and then they're gone. Like, but it's frightening every time, because you never see them ahead of time, right? Like, you'll be walking behind, like, a leg of a table, and you're only seeing the perspective of, like, the front of the table. But if you're walking behind that leg, there might be one of those little guys behind that leg also. So when you walk that direction, all of a sudden they come skittering out from the other side of it, and you're like, whoa, I expected that to be me, and then there's this little creature. It's unsettling, to say the least. Very dark, moody audio, and I don't remember if there's music. It's very low and very subtle, but it's a very visually impressive game for the dark and dreary world that they have created, and being able to tell a story without a single line of dialogue is extremely difficult. And somehow they're doing it. Now, like I said, I haven't got to like the end of it, so I don't know at the end if everything kind of all fits together. But like, I have the pieces in place. I just need to know what to do with them to complete what the story is. But I'm at least following what's going on.
Wow.
Yeah.
The screenshots of it look super unique to me.
Yeah.
It has almost like a claymation style to it, sort of. like a Leica film where it's kind of like what is it? Stop animation.
The first thing that I thought of was like Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, like Tim Burton. Yeah, the art style is definitely the most striking thing. Just looking at like a little bit of footage of it.
Yeah.
I think I want to check this one out too. Like, well, I gotta play. Why not? What's one more?
Yeah, I mean, I've put like 4 hours into it or something like that, 4 or 5 hours. So I know it's not. It's about the length of like Limbo or Inside, and I don't want to keep comparing it to that because it does look very different, but it feels like one of those kind of games, like a spiritual successor to those two. But yeah, like it's just I've been playing it with headphones on also, so like I'm like fully immersed in the world, so I could hear like every little footstep and every little floorboard creak, and there's puzzles to solve. Not major puzzles, but like sometimes you'll come across like a door that's locked, and you're like, okay, well, I guess I have to find that key somewhere, and the key will be like in the room somewhere, like hanging up like on a hook, and you're like, okay, well, I have to platform my way up there to jump and grab the key and scurry down to unlock this door. So I enjoy that. It's not just a straightforward, just keep endless runner type of thing. Like there is some thought behind it, but yeah, it's just a weird little world they created. I wish I was playing it in VR.
Yeah, I could totally see that being an excellent like VR game, just being able to look around the world like perspective with not having your character to look around and being your character, but more so like you just being able to see the environments and details,
watching the character run through it.
Yeah, there was a VR experience that you had on the PSVR, and it was like a movie with like these like it almost looked like paper doll like puppets in the sky. That was so cool.
Yeah,
like to be able to do that completely in this type of art style and with the immersion that you're talking about, like that'd be so cool.
Right. But yeah, I've been playing on PlayStation. It's also available on Xbox One. Everything that I know about it runs exactly the same. It's very smooth. I haven't come across any bugs or hiccups or anything like that. It just kind of came out without much fanfare. Like, what's weird is like they had a collector's edition for it.
Yeah, I did see that. I was like, I remember seeing that on Twitter, and I was like, huh, I didn't know this game had so much affinity. I have never really heard of it.
How do you sell a collector's edition for a game that nobody knows exists? Like, I don't... it just cracked me up, but like it's totally justified in being like a very solid game. For some reason, I don't know if it's just when it came out in the year, or maybe they just didn't put enough marketing behind it ahead of time. It's not a platform exclusive, so neither Sony or Xbox were ready to push it too heavily,
Yeah.
But
man, I wonder how well that would have done if it was on the Switch. I was reading like some of the numbers of the downloads of like just the indie games like Snake Pass, and there's another independent game. It was like I think it's called Kamiko. It's like a $5 game.
Yep, I got that
like,
today.
Those things are just like selling super well on the Switch.
Sure.
And Kamiko's, I think, is a Switch exclusive, but Snake Pass like sold barely anything on the Xbox and the PS4. Like It's sold most on Switch because people just want those smaller experiences on a handheld. Like,
and one game a week is coming out on the eShop. So you go to the eShop, you're like, oh, here's a new game. Okay, I'll pick it up. As opposed to what's new this week. Oh, here's 86 different titles, and here's all this DLC pack, and here's all these cosmetic features that you could add on to other games, and everything just gets lost in the mix immediately on new release days for both Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah.
It's so hard to find new stuff there.
Yeah.
Unless it's a game that they're like super excited about and it's an exclusive or something like that. Everything just gets buried by junk. Whereas the eShop on the Switch is just like you open it up, oh, here's a new game. Cool. Here's my money. Done.
Right.
And you may play it for like 10, 15 minutes, but all of a sudden, like it's way easier to justify buying it because of the system. It's bizarre, man.
Yeah.
Like more people should be clamoring to get their games on the eShop.
Yeah, I don't know what the holdup is on that. So
Yeah. Anyway, Little Nightmares. I highly recommend it if you have a few extra bucks. Definitely, if you're looking for a little experience, if you're into horror and into creepy stuff like that, it's definitely a game worth checking out for sure.
what's the price on it?
I think it's $20.
Okay, that's not bad at all.
15 or 20, $14.99, $19.99. I can't remember specifically. No more than that though.
Either way, it's a good deal.
Yeah. I mean, for that experience, if that's the type of game that you like, like I said, highly recommend it. So, Colin, do you have anything else?
No, I think that about does it. I mean, like I said, we're getting close to E3, and that's when we'll have things to talk about again, presumably.
Right. Yeah. Oh, one thing, and this isn't specifically an Xbox thing, but Rocket League. Have you ever heard of that game?
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it? Okay. It's a car game, but they play soccer.
Right.
So
that's ridiculous. No. That's
okay. Rocket League, right?
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
I mean, taking the world by storm in the last
love
couple
that
of years.
game. It's so good.
Has 800 bazillion downloads and stupid numbers, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And made by a little indie studio. Like, how many people do they have working? Like 10 or so, if that.
Yeah, I'm not sure the size of the studio.
Okay, very small studio. Anyway, like they've been just. It's kind of like what you're seeing with Overwatch, where it just seems like every month it just gets more and more popular, and more players are jumping into it.
Yeah.
Crazy. I mean, Overwatch expected. I mean, it's, Blizzard. Sure, you could expect that from a Blizzard game. Rocket League just came out of nowhere. Still, everybody just absolutely loves it and everything they're doing. They're actually sponsoring the next WWE pay-per-view.
What?
It's WWE Backlash presented by Rocket League.
Are they
How
doing...
insane is that?
That's super weird. Are they doing, like, WWE cars? Like, are they doing, an Undertaker car or something like that?
No. They just have their name associated with every piece of marketing for that pay-per-view that's coming out. Everything is presented by Rocket League.
Okay.
Insane.
And there you go.
It's just like, you know what? Good for you guys.
It's kind of like that World of Tanks game that came out a couple years back. Like, that was also done by an indie studio, and that thing just, like, exploded. And I feel like I was seeing that on, like, I don't know if it was NFL games, but it was some kind of sporting event that I saw. So that's cool that they're that big.
I think I'm less impressed because, like, that was like a mobile game, whereas Rocket League.
World Tanks is a mobile game.
Is it?
No, it's not. It's like it's basically like a customized. It is a free to play game. Maybe that's where your confusion is. Where you basically
is it on consoles?
Yeah, it's on Xbox, and I think it's on PS4 as well.
Really?
I
thought it was like a PC and a mobile game.
No, it's not a mobile game.
Okay. All right.
It's kind of like you have a base tank, and then you can, like, if you kill specific enemies or do certain things, you get current in-game currency to upgrade your tank, or it can purchase different upgrades with real world money too. It's actually very popular.
Yeah. Huh. I guess I didn't realize it was a console game.
Yep.
Silly me, Colin. Anyway, next week we'll be doing week of PlayStation. Week after that, we'll be doing a big E3 prediction where we absolutely nail everything that's going to happen at E3 because that's what we do here.
That's right.
I encourage everybody to go back and listen to last year's episode, and boy, were we right about so many things. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun, Colin. Where can people find you at?
They can find me at Twitter at PDX_geek, and they can also listen to us collectively on at Platform Junkies.
Yeah, we're coming back. We're doing another episode tonight after this.
Yeah. So if you'd like a after hours version of this,
less games, more BS, definitely a few more choice words.
Yes.
Definitely not family friendly.
Yes,
It's us loosening the ties and rolling up the sleeves, as I like to say.
that's right.
So, should be fun. You can find me on Twitter at The Noise with a Y. Follow the show on Twitter at Joys of Games. Next week, we'll be talking PlayStation. Probably going to be talking What Remains of Edith Finch. Just going to throw that out there.
All right, sounds good.
That could change, though, Colin, because I have a confession before we hang up here.
Okay,
I started playing a game again.
go on.
Resident Evil 7. I can't help it, Colin.
Was that what that screenshot was that you tweeted?
No, that was Edith Finch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Colin, why do I keep
well,
playing this
I have a
game?
confession to make too. Then
Yeah.
I've started a game again too.
Destiny?
Kingdom Hearts.
No, that doesn't count. Nobody cares.
I'm leaving. Good night.
See you next week, folks. Play some games. Enjoy them. Good night.